How to use Gemini for your speeding up app development. Do you dream of focusing on creative problem solving and building amazing features faster? Then I welcome you to a video on leveraging AI tools to boost productivity in your app development. I'm excited to guide you through this small tutorial wherein I'll explain you how you can use AI to integrate Google Maps into your Flutter app. This journey will explore Google's Gemini, which can significantly enhance your efficiency and effectiveness as an app developer. Regardless of your experience or expertise, these insights will help you streamline your workflow, minimize repetitive tasks, and prioritize creative problem solving. So let's get started. Let's continue in this section wherein I'm going to show to you how in your Flutter app, I'll be integrating Google Maps. In fact, I'm going to use Gemini as an AI tool that can help you speed up your app development. The very first thing is I'm going to head over to Android Studio, click on New Flutter Project, give this Gemini location, any random name that comes to my mind, Gemini location. And for now, I'm going to do it for Android and iOS. Let me remove the tick for the other environments. At organization, I'll put com.programming.hub. Let's try clicking on the create button, which will be creating a default project. So this is as good as I'm creating a raw project, and then because we would be using Google Maps, I'll try and prefer the geolocator plugin that shall give me the live location from GPS. Switching to the project pane, I'll head over to PubSec YAML, Google Maps, Flutter plugin. But wait, aren't we using AI? So let's try asking our Gemini which is the best plugin for integrating maps. So here we are on GeminiGoogle.com, and it greets me with a hello message. I'll ask, hello Gemini, can you suggest me popular map plugins that I can integrate with Flutter. The number one is Google Maps. So it says all the different plugins that we could be trying. However, I'll stick to the number one plugin. So let's try Google Maps Flutter. And I'll head over to PubDev. While I'm recording this video, this is the latest version. Now, over here, I'll just put up a comment displaying Google Maps in my app. On same grounds, in order to get the GPS location, let me try again searching by Gemini, what are the plugins that offer location services? Which plugins in Flutter support location services? Again, the geolocator plugin is the number one, followed by the location plugin. I've used this location plugin. The issue which I faced is, let's imagine a scenario where your GPS is off. In that case, I should be redirecting to the user to settings and then allowing the user to turn on the GPS from settings. Well, that feature somehow did not work for me in certain scenarios, and hence I switched to the number one plugin, that's geolocator. Well, this time it has reduced my job by giving me a link. The link redirects me to pubdev and let me add the geolocator plugin. Getting live location. Now, what I'll try and do is click on pubget. Well, once this is done, what I'm going to try and do is copy the documentation from the geolocator plugin. So I'll open lib. So this is the main.dart file. Let me remove my default code, and over here, let's create a directory as location services, and inside this I'm going to create location utils. So class location utils. Next is going to be my entire code from the documentation for the geolocator. Yes. So basically, what does this thing give me is the live location of any particular person. And over here, the geolocator plugin has already handled for me the permissions. In fact, what if the permission is denied and denied forever? What do you mean by denied forever? Is the user has clicked don't allow when the permission pop-up was displayed. If the user allows me to have the permission, then I'll get the latitude and longitude. Well, this primarily solves the entire thing for location. But how should I call this function? In order to do so, I'll head over to Gemini again. Put a prompt here as, can you write a code that calls determine location function? This code should be in a FLUTTER stateful widget. Now, when I press enter, let's try and see what is the code suggestion that I get. Well, as it says over here, that's a location example. So let me copy this piece of code. Create a new file as display maps view, and then paste this. I'm going to change the class file name to match along with my Dart file name. Display maps view, and this as display maps view state. Let me put underscores so that it stops giving me an error. I forgot to put the word state. Yeah, well, in this scenario, my code determine position is already dumped inside the class file. Well, I'm going to follow good principles, which says that a view should only be doing the code for view and nothing else. Hence, I'm going to erase off this piece of code, and when the button is pressed, over here, I'll try to get the position, and I'll make this function as async. Head over to my location utils and then determine the location. But wait, did I make this function? Oh yes, this function is private. Let me make it as public and then determine the position. Let me print it to understand whether I'm able to get the latitude and longitude. Position dot over here, I have to put the await keyword so that it gives me the suggestion for latitude and longitude. Well, here comes certain parts where AI cannot be helpful to you. For example, over here, this is a future function, which basically means your phone is going to take some decent amount of time to understand where your position is. Then it will be giving you a callback stating what is the latitude and longitude where you're standing right now. This is the reason why it's a future. What do we know? As a Flutter developer, future is going to be a function which has to be called with an await keyword. Hence, I manually added that await keyword and we are going to get this position. Next, what I'll try and do is start up my entire virtual device, which should be able to demonstrate this live location at Google head office. Let the device get started. Meanwhile, over here, if current position is not null, it has by default given me the code of printing it. Well, this code is going to be null, hence this text view initially will not get displayed. I'm going to run my app and wait until this small thing finishes. But wait, I did not configure my main. Let us try to have my class my app to extend the stateless widget. I'll hover on this, take the missing override and put over here material app, wherein the home screen shall be displaying the maps view. Well, if you're new to Flutter, then let me explain you. This is the entry point to my code. What I'm trying to do is displaying from the entry point my class file name display maps view. Over here, I have written something called as a stateful widget, which should be getting me the entire location on the click of a button. Well, this is just a temporary implementation for me to check whether I'm able to get the position. If yes, I'm going to surely change this logic. But what do I notice is I'm getting a build error. Over here, this is the main function. I have resolved this. Let me try running my app once again to check if this time it generates an error or I'll get an APK file to install to my device. On this occasion, I get a different version. What now it suggests is I have to set the min SDK version as 20. The thing is, if you remember the prompt which I gave to Gemini, over there it wasn't stated which is going to be the Android SDK version which I would be using. Hence, over there Gemini did not show up the suggestions for this. Like I said, even if AI helps you, it cannot help you 100%. You still have to got that knowledge to fix it up. Let's try fixing this logic by heading over to Android, wherein when I scroll down here, I'll set the minimum SDK version to 24, followed by on the app level build Gradle, I'm going to write down the Kotlin version, which is going to be 1.9.0. Now, like you notice, over here, I set up the Kotlin version to 1.9.0 and same over here in settings.gradle, where this Kotlin Android has been written, I'm going to set to 1.9.0. Let's try running my app to check if now it gives me any error or whether I'll get the APK file. By meaning of 1.9.0 Kotlin version is I want to ensure that everything that's been compiled is according to the latest Kotlin version which is out. This Kotlin versions will get renewed, but however, the latest is 1.9.0. Like you spot on my screen, I have my APK file, which now at the center of the screen should be displaying a button. And yes, I'm going to click on get current location and it says check permission. Well, do you remember, if there is a location, it's considered to be a dangerous level permission? Well, if you're hearing this for the first time, then it basically means that you have to have the declaration on the manifest file. On manifest file, I have to write the lines for accessing location and course location. So here I am adding all the necessary permissions that the app will be requiring. This internet permission is to ensure that when in future I'm going to try loading the Google map, it will be using internet. Hence, let's try putting up the internet permission right away. Now, I'll kill the app and try to run it from the very beginning. This time, when I click on get current location, I'm getting a prompt to either accept or deny it, and I'll say while using the app. Hence, what you'll notice is when I click on this, it tells me the position for the Google office at US. Since this part is complete, let me now move to Gemini, and over here I'm going to ask, can you provide me the steps in which Google Maps can be integrated in Flutter? Well, it says first I have to add the plugin, which is I've already done it. Second is I have to head over to the Cloud Console and create an API key. Forthcoming step is going to be I'm going to add this API key on my manifest file and as well as the info plist file. And finally, I can use it in my app. What I'm going to do is pause the video right now and then continue once I have retrieved the Google API console key. For this, I have to head over to Google Cloud, wherein from this Maps SDK for Android is going to be the thing where I'll get the API key, and then from the API key, I have to put it in manifest. Since this API key is going to be private and linked to my account, I'm going to pause the video. Since I've already added the API keys to my Android manifest as well as to the iOS app delegate file, I should be now having my final prompt. The final prompt will be letting the user to get its live location plotted on the Google map. I'm going to follow this entire UI diagram, wherein over here, this is the Google Map widget and this blue circle denotes his position. This plus symbol, once clicked, it will try to animate the camera and move to the user's current location. Again, this entire Google Map shall be displayed as a full screen widget. What I'll try and now do is heading over to my Gemini. Can you provide me code for displaying Google Maps as full screen widget? Also, can you handle GPS scenarios wherein if GPS is enabled, disabled, or permission denied, or permission is denied, then error widgets are displayed. I want this code to be in future builder. Now, once the Gemini is going to give me the code, I'll try and copy and paste it to check if this thing is going to work or not. And I'm quite happy to see this. Let me go from the very beginning. Copy this, head over, remove this and paste it. Well, what I notice is This GPS status enum got added, which handles enabled, disabled, and permission unavailable status. This get user location trying to get the user location from the location utils, as well as my map controller that animates. So hopefully my code should be working. Let's try to run my app. What I see is a small loading window, and then my Google map is showing me my current location. Let's try to move somewhere away and click on this icon again. What do you notice? It drags me back to the center of the screen to indicate the live location. Well, this is the benefit of Future Builder. Future Builder ensures till the point the widget has not received location, it tries to show this progress indicator, followed by if all the permissions are available, then plots the Google map. Was that easy? Was that speeding up your work? And I think you'll answer yes to both of these questions. Conclusion. You should see AI as a collaborator and not a competitor. It's here to augment your skills, not replace them. With AI on your side, you might just become the next big thing in Flutter development, or at least free up some time for your important things like napping. But before you hit the hay, download the Programming Hub app to keep the learning momentum going. I'll add the link in the description box below. We have crafted our Flutter course and other courses in a beginner-friendly manner that will help you stay ahead in your career. Happy fluttering!